Hello everyone, I'm Alan, also known as McLaren2009, and today I'm back playing Derail Valley. Haven't played it for a little while, but I also haven't streamed much for a little while. Now, if I remember correctly from the last time that I played, I should be in the steel mill, which we are, and I should have a whole bunch of things to take to the harbor. But we gotta load the train first, or we gotta load one of them first. Let's see. I'm gonna tweak my volume a little bit. Alright. Maybe it's working, maybe it's not. Alright. So, we gotta go get our engines. Actually, probably get a job first. Getting the time bonus is basically a lost cause at this point, but let's see. Alright, we're going to the harbor. But what we probably could do... Nope. We could unload the scrap metal that we just brought in. That won't take too long. I'll guarantee this one's on A6. Called it. Alright. Okay. We need remote control. And I guess we can also get that. Okay, that's a little bit better. Alright. Now let's back up a little bit so I'm not bumping into my desk. And let's go get our engines. Now I should have 2 DE6s, a slug, and a DH4. And the convenient part is these are all right here. And they have to go over here. But we gotta fire up our engines first. Now, what'll be interesting is I need to find out if they have changed the thing with the, Hello, welcome to the stream. I'd say it's going fairly well. Haven't been streaming a whole lot lately, but I'm working on it. Alright. I need dash instruments. Now let's turn on the cap light, fuck it. Alright. Let's see. That's good. Alright. Now, let's see if they fixed the thing with the starter. No, they did not. Oh well. Alright. Handbrake. Handbrake. Oh boy. Well, that worked out. Alright, we're going backwards. Alright. Okay. Paired with the locomotive. Set to go backwards. And we get up here, maybe. Alright. Alright. Now we go in here. And we're golden. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so basically what we're doing is, before we can start taking the rails to the harbor, we're going to start off by unloading some scrap metal that we brought in last time. Probably should have set the independent before we started moving, but to hell with it. It's also unfortunate that you can't use the bell from this. Oh, I know what the problem is. We didn't take off the last handbrake. Alright, let's update the counter. Okay. So yes, knock off the handbrakes before you move the engines. Otherwise, you start dragging the brakes, and shit like that happens. And now, since we got 3.5 engines, we're going to take off like a freaking rocket because we don't have it to load. The funny thing is, I've actually seen a slug that looks kind of like this in real life now. Before, I'd only seen slugs that look like that, where they have a cab, but now I've finally seen a slug that looks like that. So that was kind of cool. Alright. This is 3 and 4. Alright, we'll get there. It would be kind of cool if you could activate the bell, but to be fair, there's not a whole lot of space to add more stuff to the remote control. The real remotes are set up a little bit different, but it's the same general idea. Okay. I forgot that that was a thing. Alright. Get past this switch. And yeah, the point of the switch, as I've always talked about, it's closer to where the lever is. It's not like a 4-foot gap. No, it's literally like right there. Alright. 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 Let's go 7. Alright, now that's a 6. Is this a 7? Yeah, this is a 7. Alright, so we gotta take these over to here, unload them, and then they gotta go over there. The real question is... Alright, these are going to 4. Yeah, 208 and 354 are going to 4. Which actually means that 612 and 096, which are these two right here, these are at the back, so they're going in first. Alright, so we got to make sure we're lined for 3. Okay. We're currently lined for 4, so we got to go to 3. And these are flats. SL10. Alright. Let's quickly break some major safety regulations and go find out what 10 is, because those might be the cars we need to go to the harbor. SL9? Oh. Okay, so we don't give a fuck about those cars. Those can stay right where they are. We can shove them all the way in. It makes no difference. We need the ones for 9, not 10. All right, so no worries. Actually, let me make sure that all of those are for 9, or all of those are for 10, and it's not like 2 different cuts. All right, so that's 10, 10. Well, if it isn't my own words coming back to kick me in the ass. Okay, so we need the one that's all the way in. We don't need the front two. Go figure. Such is life. Okay. Okay. I mean, they're currently loaded. And I put them in here. Alright, let's... Okay, I'm not sure if they've been bled, so we're just gonna bleed them. Okay. Oh. See, this is why I always complain about where the bleed valve is. Because in real life you can bleed the cars from either side. But in this game you can't. Alright, so there's no air. We've got 4 engines worth of brakes. We can stop these cars, it's no big deal. Alright, so we get over here, past this, and then we gotta get past this switch right here, and go down the loading track. And I'm in a hole. It's just a ditch. It's no big deal. Okay, now this could be a little bit interesting because this goes downhill for at least a little while, but we should be able to fit essentially 10 cars before we have a problem. Because engines are definitely longer than cars. And these are really short. Alright. Yeah, okay. Did I dump these? Yeah, I did. Okay, we're good. Okay. Let's dial it back a little bit, going into the loading track. Why does that not look right at all? Oh, okay, that's what it is. I thought it was like a visual thing, but no, it's actually a part of the water spout. The funny thing is, these also have water in them, but in a different place. For these, it's coolant. But that's not shown in the game. Maybe it could be one day. Is there a platform? No, there isn't. There probably should be, but there isn't. No, well. We don't need to ride on the back of the car anyway. I mean, the coal tipple and the water spout, those would probably count as close clearance, and you wouldn't want to ride a car through there anyway. Alright. The funny thing is, we don't need to go all this far back. We're well onto the loading track. I can probably stop right here and unload these cars. Alright. SU-25 fully unloaded. Alright, so pop it into reverse. Throttle up, kick off the independent. And now we should have no problems whatsoever moving these cars. Although realistically, we didn't have any problems to begin with. Alright, so we're gonna have to get pretty creative with how we do this. Probably the best bet is going to be put everything onto 4. Grab everything on 3, pull them out, grab the 4 cars off of 4, put the 2 back onto 3 and the 2 back onto 4, shove the front 2 wherever, and take the one that we need with us. It's going to be a process, but that's why switching cars in the yard is slightly more complex. Now, the good news is the game isn't very strict about if you start moving things around, the only one you screw over is yourself. But the good news is it's not persistent. So if we leave station limits, the cars respawn, and basically everything's back with a clean slate. So if you're not doing a particular job, you don't have to. You can just send them flying down the rails and leave them to their own devices, and it won't affect you in the slightest. Now, of course, that's not the correct thing to do, but if we were doing it correctly, we'd probably be doing it in real life instead of Derail Valley. Alright, so we got to change up our plan a little bit. We're going to line this into 4, and we're going to do a fairly complex switching operation. It's going to be like playing Railroader again. Might have to do that later. Haven't decided yet. Because what I could do is I could grab these now. But we're going to do it the other way. Because there's not a lot of room on that track, so we're just going to do it this way. But we are currently coming in a little hot. We're going to bonk the shit out of that buffer. Okay. Okay. Alright, now we're going to tie brakes right here. Okay. So, release this. Put that over there. Alright, now all we gotta do is get past that switch, grab these, grab that third car. And while we're broken away, we're going to close this, close that. Leave it open on the other side. Alright, set the independent. Alright, go forward. Alright, stop it right there. Yes, we don't need to go that fast flying into cars. I think 7's the limit when you start breaking stuff, but 5 or 6 is pretty good. Okay. Alright, now we need this. Now we're not tying air. Okay. So, good news. We got them all tied in, so we don't have to move anything else. Alright, now we pull these out, grab those 4. Yeah. And these are all empty now, so we'll have no problem moving these without air. Let's see. Oh, dear God. Okay. Now that's dealt with. And my train's fucking running away. No, put that back. No. Okay. Did I go to the wrong... No, I didn't. We're good. Alright. Alright. Not a clue. Okay, now we got the track lined to go back into 4. And we gotta grab all of those. Because here's the thing. We need those back 2 cars on 3. And we need the front 2 cars on 4. Now, what I should be doing is I should be attaching my EOT lantern, since I actually have more of them now. I think I have 3. No, I have 2, not 3. I could be... I could be attaching it to my cars here. But the thing about the chain and buffer coupling system... No, get that shit out of there. Miss me with that bullshit. The thing about the chain and buffer couplers is that you can't put a marker on there and still couple the cars. You have to take the marker off of the hook in order to couple in. Yeah. Because no matter which way you slice it, you're going to be blocking one of the hooks. So you have to remove the marker. Whereas here in the US with AAR knuckles, you would have like the knuckle here, and then you'd have the marker like right here, and then you can still open and actuate the knuckle with the marker attached. So like when we attach helper engines to like push trains up the mountain, that's what we do. You leave the marker in place. As long as you have a helper link on your engine, you leave your marker in place. But the catch is the conductor has to be standing up on the platform, and you have to like watch the knuckles come together. And the reason we have to do that is because you see this right here in the draft sill. This can move left and right. It's the same thing with knuckles as it is with the chain and buffer. And if they're not lined up to each other, you can slam the knuckle into the marker. I've done that once. It wasn't fun. I would not recommend. Now, realistically, what we could do is, since there's no air in these cars, we could kick them onto this track. But here's the thing. You don't kick cars onto an empty track. That is a bad idea. Now, if we were putting multiple cars on this track, which actually we are, So we can't kick these cars, but the front two cars, we can kick those. But that's the other thing about kicking cars. With the knuckles that we use in the US, it works fine. You open up at least one of the knuckles, ideally both of them, and then they just slam into each other and lock closed. And then those cars are now attached to the ones that you're leaving there. But with the chain and buffer, we can't do that. We can kick the cars onto the track, but they won't be secured. Alright. Okay, so in theory, if we go all the way back here and we spot those cars by this sign, they will be where they need to be. Alright. Let's back up a little bit. If they pop off the rails, don't want to get run over. Or just hit the horn, because fuck it, why not, right? Alright, so tie this brake. And yeah, 096612. Okay, so we weren't just doing the wrong thing this whole time. Tie two handbrakes because we're good conductors. Sort of. We're playing fast and loose to the definition of good, but you get the idea. Okay. Alright, now, these two cars are spotted. If we go until we hear it click, you know that it's in position. And this is the pad track. Cool. I mean, it kind of makes sense that this would be a pad track. But, you see, these are kind of like a special thing in and of themselves. Because check this out. There's this little gap here. That's where it goes down the rails. But the thing is, it's basically like a trench. It can get filled with like snow, dirt, ice, rocks. Basically, you have to pay special attention with like pad tracks, because if stuff's built up in the track, it's easier to derail, and it's way easier with empty cars like this. If they were loaded, you can crush the snow and ice with little difficulty. But if they're empty like this, they'll just pop off the rails with little resistance at all. They'll just pop off. Now you've got a car on the ground. Basically, it's just a bad thing. Don't do that. And also don't do that. Basically, we're going to keep going in reverse. Which, as you can tell, reverse would have been going that way. Oh, we need to get ahead of the move. We need to get over here by this sign, because now those two cars need to be spotted at this sign. Alright, got it down to 6. So we're doing good. Now, you would think that there would be more lighting in here, like where this overhang is, but this is like the 90s in former Yugoslavia, so they don't have OSHA in Eastern Europe. At least not in the way that we do. Okay, tie this brake. And tie this brake. Now, we're not worried about this brake, because this one's coming with us, eventually. So, we're going to go and turn this in right quick. So we go over here, pop this into the thing, and we get paid for our services. We took our sweet-ass time and still almost made the time bonus. But that's how it be sometimes. Okay, now this is 3 pickups. And we got an hour to do it in. Okay, we gotta find that other one on 5. Alright, that should be right here. Okay, it's the only car on 5. Okay. Alright, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We gotta take care of this move first. Alright, so these are for 10, so we don't need these cars. So we go right here, disconnect this, and let's get clear. Spool up the engine, break those apart, knock off the throttle, and let's go line this switch. Alright, now, like I said earlier, we can kick these cars onto this track with no problems. But in order to do that, well, for one, we need we need to get a little bit of distance. So let's throttle up a little bit. Alright, we need some space in order to do this properly. Alright, let's stop it right there. Alright, now, in order to do this, we've gotta uncouple. Now, if we kick them hard enough, they should roll right into the track. The other problem with doing this is that if the track isn't flat, they'll start rolling downhill. Ideally, you want like your storage yard to be like a bowl so that everything just kind of like rolls to the center. Alright, now we go over here. These are actually going to get completely in the clear. Yeah. Nope. No. There we go. Not quite 50 feet, but it'll buff out. It'll be fine. All right. Okay, so we gotta get to a 5S next. Now, here's where it's gonna get interesting. We actually... No, we don't. Never mind. I was gonna say we need to put these on air, but we don't. We really don't. But we are going to close this angle cock because we're going to be getting it from the other end. That could be taken the wrong way. It does help if you uncouple the car. Just as a thought. But it works out. Alright, so now we take our one flat car. The part that's going to make this interesting is we got to go to 5. And then we got to go to the B track. So we're probably going to have to dig that car out. In fact, I might need to find out where that car is, because that's going to be a whole thing. Yeah, we gotta go over to the B track and find out where that car is, because that's gonna be a whole thing we gotta deal with. Because we don't even know that we have access to it. B7S. Where the fuck is this car? It's down here. It's literally the freaking far end. Alright. Well, that's gonna be a problem. Alright. So, we gotta dig that out. But probably the best bet is just gonna be to run around it. Alright, so we're gonna have to dig that out. It's not gonna be fun. Alright, so probably the way to do this... We can get this car. If we go down the main, grab it from the other end, it's going to be a process. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. Alright, we're down to 6. Alright, that'll be enough to... get this car without causing any problems. I guess realistically we should plan ahead and put these on the loading track. Yeah. It's going to be a whole thing. No idea. Alright, so you see right here, we're going 3. We can speed it up a little bit, but there's really no point. And this is... Oh, wait, there's only one car. Of course the brake's on the right end. Alright. Okay. Now, these cars do have to be connected. Okay. It works better if you release the brakes. So we'll deal with that. But luckily you can drag brakes for a little while. It'll eventually cause tread to build up on the wheels, but it takes a very long time for it to happen. Which is part of the reason why we do stupid shit like this all the time. Alright, now the painful process is going to be digging out that car. Because the thing is, we don't have a runaround track. Or, I mean, there's not like an easy one. Like, it's not a short trip. We gotta go a long way to run around these cars. Because we gotta pull that car out, put it on the main, go around the ladder, it's like go around the ladder, grab it from the north end, and then add it to this, put it onto or add it to these cars here on the loading track, load them, then put them over there, and then we got to run around them anyway because we're going south out of here. Alright, let's straighten this back out. Because we got to take all of this and slap it onto the rest of the rail train that's going to the harbor in order to accomplish what we set out to do in the stream title. But the hardest part is just digging out that one car. Therein lies the problem. Is there fog? Yeah. Foggy. Alright, so we gotta get over here because we need to spot these down here. We should probably put them fairly close-ish to the loading thing. We don't need to, but it would be helpful. At least there's lots of stars. Curious if it's random or if they actually picked like a skybox with like constellations in it. That would be kind of cool. Completely unnecessary, but that's the stupid kind of detail that I appreciate. Yeah, it's gonna be such a pain in the ass to dig out that car. Because the alternative is we have to Dutch drop it, but the problem is the yard itself is fairly flat. So that's not gonna work well. Okay, these are in deep enough. Alright, so knock that off. Okay, pop it into reverse. Well, we can open this angle cock now because we're going to be adding a car from this end, so it works out. And then we can leave this track lined, or we can leave this upcoming switch lined. Because we got to come down this switch. We got to come down this track again anyway. Alright, now we need this track. Because we're going back down the main. Because in theory, this is kind of flat-ish. So maybe we can Dutch drop it, send the engines that way, and send the car that way? We might be able to make that work. But it's probably going to end in disaster. Okay, we can't go that way. That's the main. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Yeah, there's only one runaround track, so the only way we can make this work is to do some questionable switching techniques and hope for the best. Because what is out this side? Terrible reception is what's out here. Alright, we need to go this way onto the ladder. And then we need to go this way on the 7. Why? Because we need this car specifically. Oh, we are going fast. We are flying through the yard. Yeah, because this is uphill. Because we need to get the engine past the car. I mean, we could do it at the Y. I feel like the stupidest way possible, but we can do it that way. Because right now, the car's going to be on the north end, the engine's going to be on the south end, but I need the engine on the north end and the car on the south end. Otherwise, we're going to have to put it on the loading track in pieces, or in 2 different sections, and the game will let us do that, but that's stupid. Why do it that way? Like, why do the thing? I mean, I guess running around at the Y is probably the best option, because this way is gonna be kind of stupid. And we'll figure it out. Yeah, definitely don't do that. Now, the good news is the sun's about to start coming out here pretty soon. Okay. Nope. Okay. Nope. There we go. Okay. Now, we need to get the car on the other side of the engine. The problem is, I just don't have a good way to do this. Okay. Alright, let's get to the other end of the yard. Like I said, the problem is we need to switch them around, but it's just not working. Yeah, just casually getting run over. Okay. So, what I'm thinking is this entire section of track is flat. Alright, this section of track is flat. So, Okay, that's the front. So we need to go minus 1, 2, 3. Okay, minus 3. All right. Nope. Nope. Come on. Shit. All right. What the? You can do that? I have no idea how this got out there. I thought I ripped off a page of the book. Okay. Okay. So, set this. Alright, let's just add that to the board, because why not? We have failed miserably to do a Dutch drop. It would work better if we weren't on flat ground. Alright. Let's see. I mean, we didn't break anything, per se. Alright. I am inside of the pilot. Okay. Yeah, this would work a lot better if I had a hill. Okay. Let's set the independent. Alright. Let's apply that. Nope, that's not gonna work. I will be completely shocked if this actually gets there. Nope, it's not gonna make it. Alright, so the problem is I need it to go down a side track. Alright, I got an even stupider idea. What the fuck? No. Okay. This is, without a doubt, the stupidest switching operation possible. Nope. Damn it. Nope. This is easily the dumbest idea I've ever had. Oh. Okay. All we gotta do is just get it clear of the switch. And then we can throw the fucking handcar into oblivion. Or we just derail the handcar. Does the handcar have a health rating? I mean, probably. Okay. Without a doubt, the stupidest possible switching move. But we made it work. How many of you in the audience were just like, no, wait, let him cook? And then I pull out the fucking the hand car. You know what? I think I'm gonna count that as derailing, because even though it says it was still on the tracks, we're gonna count that. Yeah, we're gonna do it that way. That was freaking wild. Alright. I love this game. Thank God it's only one car. Because the alternative would have been to... the alternative would have been to dig out all of the car... dig out the car from the north end. And instead we did this stupid bullshit. So you can imagine the way this didn't go. Alright, and it's going to be full. For fuck's sake. It's going to B4. And we're not even using B4. Like, this isn't even going to the right place. Wait a minute. I'm missing an engine. Where the fuck's the engine? Hello? How the fuck? How did you end up here? Why are you here? Okay. Okay. The stupidity continues. We lost an entire freaking engine. We left it clear over there. This is exactly why we cannot have nice things. Stupid shit like this happens. Okay, so we gotta get this engine tied on. I'm not at all sure how I managed that, but I pulled it off. I guess realistically it would have been easier to go and move these car, like spot the car on 6 and then grab it and then put it over onto the main. But we didn't do it that way because we're stupid. Instead, we do a mess of an operation with a fucking handcar. Because of course we did. I like how the DH4 kind of like phased into existence. Like it didn't look right, and then suddenly it was like just it was like a boxcar, and then DH4 suddenly. It's wild. Alright, I gotta clean my controllers again. They're starting to drift on me. So therein lies the problem. Yeah, I just noticed that there was a problem as soon as I saw just the DH4 without the other 6. Like, how did we screw this up? Bonk. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now... Nope, nope, no. Stop this. Alright, now we go up in here. Okay. Now, in theory, we should be situated. Alright, cool. Now, we shouldn't have any more stupid shenanigans with the handcar, so we should be good to go. I say that with all the confidence in the world. How much money do I even have? I got about 190 grand. It'll be fine. We're definitely not getting the time bonus with this job. Let's go get a screenshot, because... Good to go. Okay. Now we can lay on the brakes. Just flat spot the hell out of the wheels. It'll be fine. It'll buff out. All right. Now let's try again. What should have been an easy job turned into an all-day affair because we didn't properly plan the move. All of this could have been avoided if I would have put just a little bit more thought into how I was moving these cars around. Because this is literally just 3 cars. 3! Nothing else. Just 3. And we fucked it up. Okay, now we couple this to this. Probably. We're not worried about the air. Knock off the handbrake. Okay. Well, I mean, we can dump it. It's already empty, but... Okay, now... we need to make sure we're lined for 4, which is this track right here. And then the only one that has rails is that one. So So we go in here, and it should be FH13. And it is, in fact, FH13. Okay, so the good news is we can spot it on this on the track that it's going onto. Tie the brake, turn it in, and then we'll move it over to being behind the other one. Okay. We'll move it over to being behind the other ones that are to be hooked into that one. Then all we got to do is pick up both jobs. Okay, now we are finally getting onto the loading track. And we're finally working on the last switching job before we get everything ready to go to the harbor. Basically, we did this the dumbest way possible, but we're getting it done, sort of. I mean, really, we could have just spun the whole freaking train around at the Y, and we wouldn't have had to worry about any of this. But, as we always say, proper planning prevents piss poor performance. There was no proper planning, so there was piss poor performance. Although it's not nearly as bizarre as this parking lot. Like, that's a 2-lane road. Those cars are just parked there. The trailer's out of the way, but they're like in a road. I don't know what the hell's going on in this place. It's whatever. That's iron. I mean, it would make sense. This is a steel mill. Bonk. Oh, we're stupid. Okay. Now, Load. Okay. Pop it into reverse. Knock off the independent. Let's not do that. Because we have 2 brakes tied. Okay. I coupled the air, but I did not connect the chain. We're causing all kinds of problems today. Okay. Try it. Grab this. Grab that. Grab that. Grab that. Those are good. Let's try this again. Okay. And we're on the move. Go figure, the engine doesn't like having the throttle applied and the independent brake. Who would have thought that's a bad idea? What time is it anyway? Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock. And I have been streaming for 2 hours. And I've only done 2 jobs in this game. I should not be going that fast. Because these are loaded cars, so they are not going to want to stop. Especially not going downhill. Okay. Okay. That's way too fast. Or way too much throttle. Okay. Now, all we gotta do is just spot them on this track. They're not gonna stay on this track. Well, I mean, they are, but they're not. We're gonna use them for the next job. We're gonna take them to their final destination. Okay, so all we got to do is go to the sign right here and get all 3 cars past this. And it looks like maybe 5 will fit right here, so we shouldn't have any problems. But for safety reasons, we're going to get over here. Okay. There's one. There's 2. Now, the thing is, I've spent so much time doing this that Alright, so 28 and 13. Alright, so let's grab this. There's nothing else going that way. Alright, and let's grab this. And they're going to C2. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do, knock off the handbrakes, we're going to build the outbound, and then that's probably where I'm going to call it for now, because we've been doing this for a minute. Yeah, we're going to build the outbound. So we're going to shove these all the way over to those. Yep, 28 and 13. So we're going to slap the marker onto the back of this. Alright. Nope, nope. Going a little fast. Alright, now the good news is we're going to tie brakes on this end. Just so that we don't have any problems when we couple into it. We need to get under 7. There we go. I mean, the good news is, even though, yes, we are fouling the ladder, we're going out the other end. So it works out. But I may need to do one more thing before I call it. I'm going to go to the engine house and refuel my engines. Okay, now we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to shove it down here. Okay. All right. Now we can get like 3 more cars in between the clearance points. Yeah, I'll just flat spot the shit out of the wheels. It'll be fine. Alright, there's 1. There's 2. Better make it 3 just to be safe. I know the yard's flat, but these are 2 pretty decent sized trains. Or, I mean, they're decently heavy. Okay. Let's pop it into reverse. Now, what we will do while we're standing back here is we're going to hang the marker. Now, our outbound train is ready to go to the harbor. But we need to get these out of here. Take them over to the engine house. Refuel and repair, because we did have some wheel slip when we accidentally went to like full throttle when we failed to Dutch drop the car. But it's whatever. It comes with the job. Alright, now this right here is the main. Alright, so we get these past here. Okay. Now we go forward. Maybe. If it'll let me. And then it helps if we actually line the tracks, or we line the route going to the engine house. But we haven't planned anything else properly on this trip, so why start now? We're on a roll today. Now I'm getting hungry again. No, definitely don't do that. Yeah, we're definitely doing restricting, not exceeding 5. It's close enough. What engine house territory? I mean, to be fair, it would be engine house territory past, like, this switch right here. Or at least that's how I would situate it if I wrote the timetable. Because in theory, we can lock out that switch over there, and you can't get into the repair track. Alright, now let's get in here and spot for fuel on the pad. Alright. Okay, center reverser. Kill that. Alright. There. Pretty sure that's the alerter. Alright, whatever. It's not important. Brake set. Was this even on? I don't think I even started it. Yeah, I didn't even turn it on. It's okay. We didn't need it anyway. It was just a way to remote control the engine. So we did it with 2 DE6s. But we do need to turn off... There. Now, will this freak out? Yes. Yep, and we didn't even touch it. No, stop this madness. Okay. So, $17,000, and we barely even... We only used 2 of the engines. So, now that we got all that taken care of, we run over to the office, pay our fees. Fees. Okay. Okay. So we got about $186,000, give or take a couple. So let's put this one right there. Let's put this one right there. Put this up there. Actually, let's put that right there. Okay, so instead of going to the harbor, what we ended up doing was building the train going to the harbor after unloading some scrap, which actually I'm kind of curious. There is an unload with 2 drop-offs coming from the machine factory. Oh, there's 2 of them. 40 and 26. And that's farm. Oh, those are the new grain hoppers. Okay, cool. Alright, so this is actually... Oh no, it's 2 different trains. One's there, one's there. Alright, so if we really wanted to, and we wanted to be dedicated to the cause, we could finish unloading the rest of the scrap metal. But unfortunately, I am not feeling very dedicated to the cause today. I might play something a little bit later. I'm not sure yet. But as a bit of a recap of what we have accomplished in this stream, we came in, unloaded some scrap metal, loaded some rails. Loading the rails was a bit of a disaster because we had to use a hand car to finish a failed Dutch drop. It was a whole thing. You had to have been there to see it. And then we built the outbound going to the harbor. We also refueled all of our engines, which we found out I only remembered to turn 2 of them on. So there's that. And I don't think there were any more fees. Yeah, no fees. We didn't damage anything. Somehow. So yeah, it was a fairly productive stream, even if it was only about 2.5 hours, give or take. We did do a couple of things, but we did not get to what I actually put in the stream title, so there's that. So next time that I play Derail Valley, I will be able to take those rails to the harbor, finally, because now they're ready to go. All I gotta do is put the engine on the head end, or put the engines on the head end, and we're golden. We just take them and leave. We go back to the harbor where we can get jobs that actually pay. but we're not there yet. So, in any regard, this seems like as good of a stopping point as any. Thank you all for watching. It's like this has been Derail Valley. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully, you have a nice day.